All right, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. It's Nakwai Yehu Nisha Yehu Yeshiraya here. All right, so I want to go over this again about bond servanthood. Um, sorry, I got lost the verse. All right, we're going to start at 38. I'm going to go down in this Torah Pasha about slavery and bond servanthood. Now, I got the chart already. But I'm going to do a reading here, Torah Pasha here. I just did Romans 8, but I'm going to do Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 25. All right, here we go. Starting at verse 38, and it says this, and we're just going to flow with it. All right, we're going to do our best here. All right, verse 38 says this: I am Yahweh, Elohechem, which brought you forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, to give you the land of Canaan, and to be your Elohim. All right, so is he talking to us? Let you know the introduction. I am Yahweh Elohechem. Okay, so this is who's talking here. Verse 39. And if your brother that dwells by you be waxen poor and be sold to you, you must not compel him to serve as a bondservant. All right, now understand, this is written to us, right? Hebrew Israelites, Abadim Yashra'anim. This is written to us, not written to strangers, not written to like foreigners, people that does not of the DNA. You're not of the 12 tribes. You're not a Levitic. You're not a Layah. You're a Layim. You're not a Levite priest or a Levite. You're not of the tribe. It's not written to them. So it's not written to Americans. It's not written to anybody. All right, except us. So get that in your head first. Who it's written to, and then when it says brother, it's talking about anybody from the 12 tribes of Israel. All right. And if your brother that dwells by you be waxen poor and be sold to you, you must not compel him to serve as a bondservant. All right, meaning you bought him. Now you own him for 7 years, and if you want to stay, you own him longer than 7 years, up to the year of Yabel, or Jubilee as they call it. Verse 40. But as an hired servant and as a sojourner, he must be with you and will serve you to the year of Yabel. All right, so you wax poor, he's your brother, he's serving you, he sold himself to you. You must not treat him like a bought servant. You must treat him like a hired servant. You must pay him and things like that. But he stays with you to the year of Yabel, because he waxed poor. He doesn't have anything. So it doesn't mean that he's going to work for you a certain amount of years and then do him. He had got somewhere to go. But in the year of Yabel, all of the inheritance and properties that, all of the stuff that happens, business transactions, all, failed business transactions, all of the shit that happens throughout the years with transactions and business and shit like that. You made a wrong business move. You went bankrupt. This, that, and the third. All of wrong shit. You lost property. You playing Monopoly. Monopoly has to end at some point, and all that shit go back in a box. But it's like you're playing Monopoly. You lost this. You lost Boardwalk. You lost this. You losing property and shit. You're like, damn. But at the year of Yabel, it goes all back to the original owners. Okay. So he serves you until he gets his shit back. All right. So, but as an hired servant, how you should treat, you must not treat him like a bond servant or a slave. You must treat him like a hired servant, because he's your brother. He's of the 12 tribes. So if I went to Lebanon and there's a bunch of Ephraimites there, they can't treat me like a fucking slave. They got to treat me like a hired servant, because I'm a fucking brother to them. I'm from one of the 12 tribes. But because of the differences of religion today, with Islam, they'll still try to treat me like a slave. So it's different today. But back then, that's how it would have been, right? But as an hired servant and as a sojourner, which is like a student, a Torah student, you come in like in the book of Acts, they call it. In the book of Acts, when Peter and them were in the upper room and the cloven tongues of fire came down, and they went out to these different men that were there to study, and they were speaking to them in their own native language. All right? These men were sojourners. They came to learn, study abroad. That's another way of saying a person that's come to study abroad, because there's no other reason you should be in Israel. You have a reason to be there. So when it says foreigner, stranger, sojourner, it's in one of those brackets of the Torah, people trying to get close to the Torah for some reason, you know, and just whatever bracket you're in, you know, like I got the chart, okay? So if you're a sojourner, you came from your country to come to Israel to learn to become a rabbi and then go back to your home country and your native people to teach them the Torah, all right? So you must treat them like a sojourner, a student. But as an hired servant and as a sojourner, a student of the Torah, he shall be with you, and he shall serve you to the year of Yabel. All right? So that's what you must do. Teach him. Verse 41. And then shall he depart from you, both he and his children with him. Like I said, you can't treat him like a bondservant. If he's serving you to the year of Yabel, you're not going to have this man 50 years old. You could be 30 years old. And then you got to wait 50 or 30 more years until the year of Yabel. You're going to be 60 fucking years old. So it's letting you know you already grown. You already a grown man. You wax poor. You mean you're 25. You got to wait 50 fucking years. You know what I'm saying? So now you 60 fucking 5. Sorry, you 75 years old. You 25. You wait 50 years. Now you fucking 75. You old as shit. You know what I'm saying? You ain't had no family and shit. Like, you're not allowed to do that to a brother. So you must give him a wife. You can't fucking have him serving you his whole fucking life. Nigga 75 fucking years old. No wife ever. You that fucking stingy that you ain't letting the sisters get married to decent brothers that know the Torah. You just, you know what I'm saying? To the T, want a brother to follow every fucking mindset that you have about the Torah. Every fucking, you know what I'm saying? Every little detail you want him to follow that you see the Torah in. Otherwise, you're not giving her to him. You're not looking at character or nothing. You just looking at what he knows and shit. Fuck is that? Yeah, he supposed to know the basics, but it don't mean he gotta doctrinally believe every fucking thing you believe. You know what I'm saying? Like you had people believe in the resurrection of the dead and not. It's Pharisee, and Sadducees. Okay, that don't mean I'm not on. If I'm a Pharisee, I'm not gonna give my daughter to a Sadducee with a good ass character. I love this man. We might not see eye to eye on this one thing, but he a good ass brother, yo. Good as shit, yo. He did this, cook and clean and that, and yo. Yeah, that's my man right there, yo. He got a good heart. You would love your daughter to marry him. So that's what's happening here. So that's what brothers need to understand. If you're gonna have servants and have brothers under your wing, you must give them a wife. You can't just have them sitting there. So again, verse 41, and then shall he depart from you, both he and his children with him, and shall return to his own family. All right, so when you have children, you take your children with you, and to the possession of his fathers shall he return. All right, so you can't treat him like a bondservant to keep his wife and his children. All right. Verse 42, for they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Mitzrayim. They shall not be sold as bondmen. They shall not rule over him with rigor, but shall fear your Elohim, which means yara, respect. All right, so the proper word should be respect there, but you must respect the Most High Yah. You know, which comes with a little bit of fear, you know, and before you respect him, you fear him, right? But you must have respect for the Most High to know that, let me not do this, man. You know, we know what the Most High can do to us. You know, he can hurt us. He can put us in slavery. He delivered us out of Egypt, Mitzrayim. So let me chill. So there's respect from the level of fear that you get from knowing, not, dealing with the Most High. So, yara, fear and respect. So, Yerushalayim, that's what fear and respect. A place of fear and respect. You shall not rule over him with rigor, but shall fear and respect Elohim. Verse 44. But your bondmen and your bondmaids, which you shall have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall you buy bondmen and bondmaids. These are just regular old Hebrews that are not Hebrew Israelites. All right, so I have the chart, people that are blood and people that are not blood that fall in the same categories of foreigner, stranger, and sojourner. But there's a difference between the DNA. That's why you call them your brother. But then these also could become brothers of converts, converted brothers, which is how you have strangers in your land that can end up becoming rich and stuff like that, or having being wealthy, and then your brother that's of your DNA that end up becoming poor can sell himself to you, but he's not allowed to be a bond servant, only a hired servant because he's of the DNA. So it's like, so you have to understand there are differences here. So a lot of people get this part twisted up because they're not understanding the difference between blood and not blood. So the understand the difference is here, hired servant and bond servant. So anybody that is of the blood of Israel are not allowed to be a bond servant. So you know that when it's talking about that, you're talking about someone that's not of the DNA. All right. Both the bondmen and your bondmaids which you shall have shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall you buy bondmen and bondmaids. They just want to serve you because they love coming over there to your spot, man. Y'all always got this and that. It's fun and shit. Y'all don't, like, man, they love it over there. So they want to be bought and shit. Like, I'm about to go sell myself over here to Song of Israel, man. They be having, chopping it up, having this and that, having fun and stuff. Da 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 da. You hear about it, and so you want to go there, right? So also is letting you know the difference between inheritance and not. Like, this is the children of Israel. This is our land, our inheritance. You can't give it to anybody else. It belongs to us. So if it's someone that's not of the children of Israel trying to partake with us, you can be a bond servant, but you still can go free at some point, and dwell in the land or whatever, like a free person. But at the first, you must be a bond person at first. Meaning we own you. Verse 45. Moreover of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall you buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begat in your land, and they shall be your possession. Meaning they came to Israel just to learn, shorty. They knew of the Torah. You were strange. You knew of it. What would be a stranger today? A Christian or somebody that's a Muslim or whatever. You know of the Torah. You've heard things about the Torah, but you live a strange way of, you live a strange holy way like Christians. You know of the Torah, but you live a perverted version of it. So it's like strange. You're not foreign. It's completely different, but you're just strange about it. So you came and sojourned to learn more, to become a student. So moreover, like the one story, I forget exactly, but the one story where, who was it that did it? I forget which one. I got to go back into the story. I haven't read the Brit Hadashah in a minute, but it's a story where there's a man reading the book of Isaiah. He's reading from the prophet Isaiah, and he's reading it out aloud. And there's one of the disciples that come up to him and say, "Do you know what you're reading?" He was like, "Can you help me understand what I'm reading? Then, can you help me understand?" He's a stranger. He's reading the Torah, but he don't know fully what he's reading. So he's like, "Let me help you." And then he teaches him. He tells him the Busora, give him the good news and this, that, and the third about the Savior came, da 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 da. And he said, "Well, okay, good. It's water right here. What's forbidding me from getting baptized right now, getting the mikvah right now? Oh, you want the mikvah now? Come on." And then he give him the mikvah, and then he, goes off into a whirlwind and teleports somewhere, And that guy he has a mikvah into the vow of the covenant of Abraham through the Savior. So there are different types of people that are strangers and things that come through the land of Israel and stuff through back then and stuff. Today we don't understand that because we're in captivity, right? So we wouldn't understand it. So give you an example. That's an example. So yeah, normally the people, moreover of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, they come through Israel trying to learn, but they're not of the DNA. That's why it's two types: the non-blood, the blood, and the non-blood when it comes to foreigners, strangers, and sojourners. All right, of them shall you buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begat in your land, and they shall be your possession. So they're the only people that you can own. People that they're not from Israel, but they come into Israel because they don't want to be in that country. They want to serve the Most High. Fuck out of here. I ain't going there. What I look like worshiping a cow and shit. That nigga said move. because he didn't know how deep space was and shit. So he thought that the vibrations of him saying "moo" was gonna give the calculations to him. And then when he asked him, "Or do you have the calculation?" You just said "moo" again. So I was like, "Fuck it, I don't understand what he's saying." So he left, came to the Most High, and so you can buy him so he can stay there, because the possession of Israel is not gonna ever be given to another nation. Even though they stole it from us and these Jewish people trying to be us, it's not theirs. They're converts. Some of them understand it. They understand it, but some of them want to be in the bracket of being, bond servants. Some of them are waiting to be bond servants, and others of them are just fighting still. I'm never going to be a bond servant to these. You're still fighting to try to own something that belongs to somebody else. So there's differences there. So it's hard to tell. It's like a poker game there. So it's hard to tell. Whatever the case, verse 46, and you shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. They shall be your bondmen forever, but not forever and ever. Okay, not eternally, not everlastingly shall they be your possession. Because at some point people have to go back to their possession, right? Yabel, the year of Yabel. Is everybody in the planet must go back to their possessions. It must reset. Everything must reset, and everything that was naturally given to each nation, they go back to that. So if you had foreigners in your land and they own some shit, it got to go back to you. You can't have it forever. But those that you possess, they leave and then they can come back, or whatever the case. So it's like the lease is up, you leave, and then you could come back. If you have nowhere to go, then you can enjoy the Yabel with us as being free, and then you re-give yourself, you resell yourself, So that's another thing of the all in the air, or whatever the case. You give yourself back to the same person. All right. So, but over your brethren, the children of Israel, you shall not rule one over another with rigor. All right. You must treat each other like workers. We're just brothers working together. We just working together. You're not greater than me. I'm not greater than you. Don't try to horse me. Don't try to clown me. Don't try to step on my neck like you try to own me. You know what I'm saying? Boule ass niggas and shit. You want to be a slave master ass over your own brother type shit. Stop doing that. He's not your bond servant. You'll never own him. You're both in the same boat. So don't do that. It's stupid. Verse 47. And if a sojourner or stranger wax rich by you, and your brother that dwells by him wax poor, and sell himself to the stranger or sojourner by you, or to the stock of the stranger's family, after that he is sold, he may be redeemed again. One of his brethren may redeem him. All right. So I don't know why I say that like that. I'm thinking, it's Autumn be doing that crap, but I do that. I don't know why. I recognize that, but I'm Autumn Perfect. She be rapping and stuff, but she a Hebrew sister. She be like, all right, but I do that too. All right. I don't know why I do that. Sorry. But I can't stop. So anyway, all right. So, but the point is here also. So neither can a sojourner or stranger, someone that knows the Torah, that wax rich in the land, just by living there, chilling. They're sojourner to you. They're your student or whatever. They live, got a job, this, that, and the third, became rich and owned some stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then your brother, who's your relative, came through. He ended up waxing poor. And he sold himself to the stranger, the sojourner, your student. He sold himself to your student, and verse 48, and he may be redeemed again. One of his brethren may redeem him. So that's all it is. He waxed poor for whatever reason. There's many special cases of how people end up becoming poor. Never put it in one bracket. So that's why you go to court. How did you end up being poor? So I don't want to speculate on that, or whatever. I'll just leave it as he waxed poor for whatever reason, one reason or another. He sold himself to your student. Your student was rich, and so your student took him, or whatever the case. And so he's not allowed, even in that sense, to be treated like a bondservant, but like a hired servant. But if you can redeem him, you redeem him. If you can't redeem him, then he stays into the year of Yabel, or he redeemed himself because he's a hired servant. So when he sell himself even to the stranger, he's getting paid. So by him getting paid, he can buy his own freedom or redeem himself. He's not ever allowed to be a bondservant. You're fucking slave. Not ever allowed to be that. So he has to even have the opportunity by working for the stranger that is your student to make money to redeem himself. You know, maybe he owe a debt or something, whatever the case, and he's trying to buy something back or whatever the case. He has to be given a chance to redeem himself. If he can't or you can't, then he stays to the year of Yabel where all of the possessions go back to the original owners. Then he can go back home to his original possession because the people that got it got to go back to their original possessions. You can't keep it forever. So after that he is sold, he may be redeemed again. One of his brethren may redeem him. Either his uncle or his uncle's son may redeem him, or any that is nigh of kin to him of his family may redeem him, or if he be able, he may redeem himself. Now I want to also say something about the different brackets here, about near kin, nigh of kin, when it comes to family here. In the sense where you need to be redeemed, your near of kin is considered, you know, your uncle and things like that. But in the bracket of marriage, the near of kin bracket is not your uncle because of the authority. So it's different brackets here, you know. So if you're talking about marriage, it's different for the near of kin. But if you're talking about you need to be redeemed from bond servanthood or slavery or something like that, then the near kin bracket is a little bit different. So it's a fine line between both brackets. So you just need to be taught the two types of brackets. And why I say that, because you'll see near nigh of kin, it says uncle here, but it says nigh of kin. But when you go into Wayikra chapter 18, the uncle is never written there in the bracket of who you can't marry. All right, it's not considered near kin enough to be in the bracket of near kin. So there's two different brackets here of kinship, and one of marriage and one of slavery, or whatever the case. So you would have to see it from two different viewpoints, and that's why I'm saying it like that, because if you go to Leviticus 18 after going here, you will not see in there that an uncle is considered a near of kin, only your aunt. Why? Because your uncle is an authority figure, and a man is supposed to be the head of the house always. Your aunt is always going to be in authority over you all your life, like your mother, your grandmother. They will always have authority over you for your whole life. It'll never be the point where you'll have authority over them, ever. So you're not allowed to marry a woman that has hierarchical authority over you. Okay? She'll always be over top of you. She can fuck you up, fuck your head up. She can never properly submit to you because she's always in authority over you hierarchically, because she's your aunt or your mother or your grandma. You can't do that. And like I said, we have the forbidden special cases and shit, but, you know, we're not talking about that. We're talking about being strict right now. Your uncle is not in the bracket because he's an authority figure over his niece. The aunt is an authority figure over the nephew. How does that look if you have to be the husband? Okay? Then that means you have to be the authority over the household. You have to lead the house and guide the house. Naturally, the niece is going to submit to the uncle because that's uncle. The nephew is going to he's going to try to lead the aunt. And the aunt going to be like, what the fuck? Like, I'm your aunt. You're still going to be that. It's going to be clashes. It's still the aunt. She has authority. So it's never going to work right. The woman can never lead the house or lead the family. And women think that shit is, if women think it's okay for the man to be guided by the wife and shit like that, she's running the house and shit, you got a carnal mind. You maximum carnal minded now. So that's why that is in the bracket of marriage, but not why uncle is not in the bracket of marriage. Sorry. Yeah, I said it right. Why uncle is not in the bracket of marriage as far as near kin, but is in the bracket of redeeming you when it comes to slavery. All right. So anyone that is nigh of kin to you, like an uncle, can come grab you up. All right. Verse 50. And he shall reckon with him that bought him from the year that he was sold to him to the year of Yabel or Yobel. And the price of his sale shall be according to the number of years, according to the time of an hired servant, shall it be with him. Okay, so however many years you got left to the year of Yabel or Yobel or Jubilee, that's how much you got to pay, the difference. Also, Just pay the difference. How many years you got left? I got 2 years left. All right, pay the difference of the 2 years and redeem them. How many years you got left? I got like about 40 years left. Damn, boy, 40 years left. All right, wait till like maybe wait about like 10 more years. I got you. I ain't got it like that. It'll be 10 more years. All right, wait 10 more years and then come grab you up after 10 more years and pay the difference. So unless you save up some money because you can't be a slave. So I know you're getting paid. So save up some money. So by the 10th year, we can, I can help you redeem yourself and shit. So we can, pay that off. Or you want to wait, man, he cool, man. He cool. All right, you can wait there. Wait till the year of Yobel. He cool. He a good guy and stuff. Wait till the year of Yobel and get your stuff back. Verse 51. If there be yet many years behind, according to them, he shall, if there be yet many years behind, according to them, he shall give again the price of his redemption out of the money that he was bought for. So how many, whatever. If you got few years or many years left. All right, verse 52. If there remain but few years to the year of Yabel, then he shall count with him, and according to his years shall he give him again the price of his redemption. Same thing over. Verse 53. And as a yearly hired servant shall he be with him, and the other shall not rule with rigor over him in your sight. So you can't be harsh, meaning you can't treat him like a fucking dog. Oh, he's a dog. Just how people love doing that. Oh, he's a fucking dog and shit. He's a horse. He's a dog. You can't do that shit. You can't. You can't rule with rigor. You can't treat them less than a human or less than a person. You can't belittle them and shit like that, looking at them like you're royalty and they're not royalty and shit. You can't ever do that. Now, with other people, you can, but not with the children of Israel. You can never do that. Even when it comes to fucking strangers. You're a stranger. You wax rich in the land. You can't look down upon me. You treat me like a hired servant and you respect me. Don't belittle me. You know what I'm saying? It's not your fucking land. The year of Yabel comes, I'm supposed to get the whole shit back. The Jewish people still in our fucking land acting like it's theirs and shit. You see the difference between slavery and it's this fine line between bond servanthood and slavery also. So you have a hired servant, you have a bought servant, but then that fine line between bought servant and slavery, which crosses the line, now you become a murderer. You're in transgression. You're doing a sin worthy of death. When you're talking about slavery, is a sin worthy of death, and people are not teaching that. I have the chart. I'm gonna give you the chart later. I'll bring it in. I'll bring it through here. I'll bring it out. All right. So you should not rule with rigor over him. What has been happening in America? These strange ass people that took our shit, made Christianity up, and stuff like that, have been ruling with rigor over us, teaching us false truths and shit like that. Halfway truths, changing the Savior up, making them Caucasian with silky smooth hair, and he's no longer dark brown like the brass burnt in the fire. They switch shit up so hard. They're evil people, murderous people. They don't belong in existence. They show you that by how they treat you. They're not cordial or peaceful towards people. They're only deceptive, carnal minded, maximum carnal minded, to try to fuck people up and conquer the world and shit. You want to take other people's shit. So the year of Yabel or Jubilee don't exist to America. So the strongest Marvel character outside of the one above all would be Jubilee. The one thing that they don't ever want to do is let the people go. You just want to conquer the fucking world. They don't ever want a Jubilee. You want to take people's shit and keep it forever and ever fucking ever. Anyway, off that. So you maximum carnal minded, Venom Death, Jubilee, and anyway, the one above all, which is the Spirit of Life. The characters that need to be in Marvel next, if they ever do it right. Verse 54. And if he be not redeemed in these years, then he shall go out in the year of Yabel or Yahubel, both he and his children with him. You can't keep his fucking children. Okay, in the year of Yahubel or Jubilee, you must give him his children back. Or you must give him his children, and also he must go free. You can't keep him forever. So that says even to America. Whatever sect you from, Jehovah's Witness, Mormons, this, that, and the third, you are a stranger to the Torah because you keep saying the law is done away with. So you know of the Torah because you keep going into the fucking Torah to learn of the ancient things. Like, the story of Moses. If it's done away with, stop fucking reading it. But you know of it. So you are a stranger. You know the Torah. So you want to be having slaves and shit, but you never have a jubilee. Because y'all conquerors. You don't belong here. You just love smiling in somebody's fucking face, but fuck you for real. Always looking for a deceptive way to fuck somebody up in secret and shit after listening to what somebody fucking said. And instead of righting your wrongs and have healing journeys, y'all want to keep fucking people up. The more you fuck people up, the more power you get. But that shit reversing now. The more you keep fucking people up, that shit gonna turn on you and gonna get fucking destroyed and you fucking erased. Verse 55. For to me the children of Israel or Yashara'al are servants. They are my servants whom I brought forth out of the land of Mitzrayim. I am Yahweh Elohim. I am the Most High. You can't be, I own them. You can't be trying to hold them for fucking ever. Lying to them and shit so you can keep holding them, giving them options and shit like, oh, did you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Tell them the fucking truth. Stop giving them, I'm saying, like, you are this. You stripped them of that language and shit. You this and that. You did the worst to them. Gave them no choices, no chances. The fuck? And don't want to give them back to the Most High. Also, the Jewish people don't want to fucking move over or scoot over some shit. That's the softest thing I can say. Just scoot the fuck over. And you know what I'm saying? And go, you cool. And then we're going to take our shit back. And then we got a year of y'all Jubilee. You know what I'm saying? You either get the fuck out or you can stay and be a servant to us. That's how it would go. They know it's going to go that way. It's like, the fuck? But they, you know what I'm saying? You just want to own our shit. Still go to war with other people surrounding you and shit. Because the only reason you allowed to do that is because it's the children of Israel serving Islam. They want death. Venom death. Islam. And because of that, you have a avenue to fuck them up. But if they serve the Most High, you don't have an avenue anymore. You're going to get fucked up. So then you run away and back up and shit when you find out people serve the Most High. Stupid shit like that. But yeah, man, I'm tired, yo. I'm just tired. So, like I said, man, before I die, I'm going to curse the Jewish people. And those who the curse will land on, it will land on. And those who it don't land on, it won't land on because they mean well. They have actually been putting efforts towards trying to redeem the children of Israel from captivity. So it's going to be crazy, but I'm going to curse them before I die, or leave a curse laying behind for other people to get. So that way it will manifest when I pass away. Right now it's still grace and mercy because I'm alive and shit. But when I'm dead, nah, y'all gonna get fucked up, no mercy or nothing. Because you didn't overdid it. It's like me with this Jeep I got. It's like I'm seeing how long I can go without paying the payments and shit. But really, I want to pay the payments. I just ain't got money to pay the payments. That's my heart. I want to pay it, but I don't got money to pay it. So I'd rather do away with it, but at the same time I need it. So it's like how long I can keep it, type shit before they take it. So it's like I'm in a tough ass spot. But for them, it's similar. It's like I don't want to, I don't know how they could be thinking, but they in our land. They don't belong there. But however long they can stay there before some shit start happening to them, they're going to stay there. And some have the heart of, I want to leave. And some have the heart of, I want to stay and I don't want to ever give it up. So it depends on the individual, but still, that's the same situation. This Jeep symbolized many different things. This Jeep symbolized the Gulf of Mexico, But if they take it, it's going to be the Gulf of America, shit like that, So this Jeep symbolized a lot of shit. And so whatever be happening to me if it affects the world, it's always a message to the world. And then it's a sign to the world to know whatever's happening with me, that's what America's trying to do to them type shit. So I'm living a special life, so you can't just cut and dry my life. Like, he got this Jeep and he ain't paying the payments, we need to take it. And people be like, no, hold on, shorty, hold on. He's connected to some shit. He's not the average guy and shit, so hold on. That Jeep is special. It's the symbol and shit. It's a symbol. Don't touch it. It's a symbol. So it's whatever the world says should happen with the Jeep is what's gonna happen with the Jeep. So it's not just like random ass, people that's in America that can just take the Jeep because it's not America. They don't have final say so over this Jeep. It's the world and shit. So it's funny. Um, Whatever the case, I just wanted to share that with y'all. You know, so just help you understand with a final word for the world to know. The world to know this, that according to our Torah law and the Christians, or America being founded on Catholicism, Christianity, which is the Torah. They have our Bible, our Torah, which is what I'm reading out of, the same text that they read out of, but it's originally out. So this is Leviticus, which is one of the 12 tribes of Israel. They have this in their book. If they have it in their book, they are subjected to this Torah law. All right? They are subjected to it. They just might try to make it seem like they are not subjected to it. So what I'm saying here for the world is, if anybody has this book called Leviticus in their scriptures, or whatever the case, in their writings, or if Levites are ever talked about in their writings, or whatever the case, then they are subject to the book of Levi and what's written here about bond servanthood, regardless of what they say. It's in their religious text. So because it's in your religious text, you are subject to it, or you're submitted to it. But Christians are not submitted to the law. They say it's done away with, so they're subject to it. You just have to teach it. So for the world to know, me as a Hebrew Israelite, this is my Torah law. Because I serve the Most High Father, I've come back to Him, come back into covenant with Him. I'm not allowed to be a bondservant or slave. I'm more of a slave. I'm from a people that was stolen. That's what slavery is. You were stolen from somebody and then sold into slavery, or you just was stolen from somebody and brought into slavery. You were brought or bought. Either one. You're brought into slavery or you're bought into slavery, but the point is you were stolen. So let's go to that real quick. Verse 21. I'm sorry, chapter 21, verse 16. All right. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he must surely be put to death. All right. And he that steals a man and sells him, or if he be found in his hand, he must surely be put to death. So it's letting you know whether you be found, or you just be stealing a man. Somebody sold you? So all of these black people in America that are Hebrew Israelites, and some are Africans, we were stolen and brought here into slavery. And it says he that steals a man and sells him. And they sold us off, auctioned us off and shit. They got newspapers, old newspapers said how much you gotta pay for a buck and shit like that. But these were stolen people. Or if he be found in his hand. On the slave ships. Before the slave ships. You just dragging us to the ships and shit. Nobody stopping them and shit. Because that envy that the Africans had about, the envy that the culture of the Africans had towards the culture of the Hebrews. They didn't like the fact that our cultures were clashing. So there was an envy there. So they weren't, it's like they turning a blind eye and shit. Get them out of here. They don't live the same culture. They don't do voodoo like us and shit like that. So that's what was happening. So that if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Why they not dying? Caucasian people ain't fucking dying. They still taxing us and shit. Overdoing it, taking shit from us and shit. Holding us here for 1,000. We've been here 500 plus years. They gave us promises and shit, 40 acres in the lake, all kinds of promises and shit they ain't ever give us. They just still keep looking at us like fucking money and shit. More slaves, more money. They never thinking free the people. So another Pharaoh situation we got here with these Caucasian Americans after America Vespucci, the Roman general, America Vespucci, whatever. We got more shit here going on with Rome. They don't want to let up. They don't want to stop. They just want to continue that satanic shit. That demoninations, whatever. Demonations of Christian sects or whatever. So Catholicism had sex with Christianity, and then more sex came out. So they had sex. Catholicism and Christianity had sex, and now we have demonations. So it's stupid, right? So anyway, but I just had to let you know, man. We're not allowed to be bondservants. We're not allowed to be slaves if we come back to the Most High Father, serve the Most High Father, have a covenant with the Most High Father. we're not allowed to be slaves. But we come back. But those who are still doing dumb shit like being Christians, calling on Jesus Christ, stupid shit like that, perverted versions, carnal-minded versions of the Torah, then yes, the freedom is like slow to come to them. But yeah, letting you know, this whole shit is a guilty situation. So we shouldn't fucking be here. Y'all thinking that the world always has slaves and it's okay for people to be slaves. No, slavery is when you stole some fucking body. But we never sold ourselves to these people. They just stole us and shit. Stole us and took us through betrayal. We got betrayed and they stole us. So no, this whole situation, us being here for 500 plus years, was never a good situation. So why would you treat us, people be looking at us here in America like, why the fuck you even here? Cause nigga, some shit happened to us. We got sold into slavery and shit. They stole the shit out of us and shit. You know what I'm saying? Our women, our children and shit, took them from us and shit. Now you got grown up ass boys and shit. They took the youth and shit. Or any man that was like educated and shit. They like had, some people fought to the death, but some people they grabbed up. So we not weak like we didn't fight or some shit, but we were scattered out. So we wasn't in our own homeland. We were running from the Roman persecution. What is his name? Alexander the Greek. You know what I'm saying? Pontius Pilate. Romans. We was running from them because our ancestors was wicked as shit. They didn't want to listen to the Savior, and they were full of the Torah, but they didn't have spirit of life in them. You know what I'm saying? They were still living after the carnal mind. You know what I'm saying? They was focused on the things of the flesh, and so they wasn't strong enough to hold the line, and so they fucking died because they was weak as shit. The Most High wasn't with them, so they was being outstepped. So it's the same thing today. You see Hebrew brothers all in America, all over. The most you see them at is New York. But they all over America. You don't ever see them and shit. You don't see no famous Hebrew Israelites. You don't hear of them, know of them, nothing. They be in secret and shit. You never know. You have to be privy to know about Hebrew Israelites. You had to know a Hebrew Israelite that told you about a Hebrew Israelite to know of Hebrew Israelites. You don't hear about them. So the world getting fucked up. They just watching TV and shit. And still preaching on the corners, but don't nobody fucking know who they are and shit. So, it's like that. They stay in secret. A lot of them are secret agents and shit like that. Like, damn, they came into agreements and covenants with the enemy and shit to be agents and FBI, CIA and shit like that to survive. So, it's crazy, right? But we're all in captivity already, so that's neither a make or break. The point is, it's just a mess. My thing is, I'm a little bit bitter because all of these women that are Hebrew Israelite sisters, and not one of them am I married to, I can get a job, yo. I'm sacrificing right now. That's why Kim Kardashian put that blow up balloon in the streets of New York. If I'm not here in the streets of Santa Monica suffering and sacrificing and being poor and shit on EBT, then she's not, her company and her business and shit is going to fall apart. She needs somebody to sacrifice for her. It's either me or her. So I was like, man, I ain't doing shit. I ain't got no wife. So I'll do it because I ain't got no wife. If I had a Hebrew Israelite wife or a wife or whatever, I wouldn't have to be here sacrificing and shit. So brothers ain't ever want to give me a wife. So that's what Kim was saying with the blow up balloon. It's either me or him. If it's not him, it's me in New York, laying in the street, butt ass naked like this, ass out. Ashamed and shit. But I saved her from that shame. That's what's being said here. So that's a message to the Hebrew Israelites. That's why she went to New York, because they're mostly there. You know what I'm saying? The hardest core ones and shit. So yeah, in Philly. They're in New York and Philly, Baltimore, so whatever. They all over, but the hardest core ones come out of New York. And so yeah, man. It's a message, yo. Don't nobody fucking know who y'all are. Y'all just like randomly be popping up and shit. I was talking to, that's how it came out because my shit be monitored. So when I was talking, I was asking Akzabak for some tassels, some zits. I wanted to buy some from him. I ain't care how much they cost. Whatever he said the price was, that's the price. It's worth it to me. But I don't make fringes. I can, but I don't have the money to make them. I'm poor and homeless. Also, maybe he might have felt like I don't deserve them. But he, instead of actually being honest with me, he tried to try me. So I knew he was going to, if he didn't get to me right away, he was going to try to play me. But that's the thing. Brothers need to stop doing that. You know, it's like, because I don't know you, didn't come by this way, or you didn't come up through us, you nobody. So you got to stop doing that. But he did do that, and my stuff be recorded. The same thing with the self-proclaimed high priest, Rabbi Simon Altaf. They be trying to try you when you be genuinely coming. Instead of keep it clean and keep it pure and keep it with pure intent, they just be doing shaky shit trying to try you. And then you get fucked up and they say some dumb shit. But I saved Zabak in a way by not replying back. I saved him by not replying back because I replied before the Shabbat came. And then he didn't reply to me. I said, yeah, I got it. I'm going to pay you the money. Just give me the Cash App and I'll send you the money through the Cash App or whatever the case. And I told him like on either like a Wednesday or a Thursday or something like that. But then when Shabbat came, he texted me right when I said, if he texts me when sunset on Shabbat, I know for sure he trying to try me. And then he did exactly that. Text me on Shabbat Eve. And I'm like, so I didn't even respond back because I knew that if I respond back, they watch my shit be monitored. So I didn't want to do that to my brother. So I just left the message to let him know, bro, come on, you should have kept it straight with me. Why would you try me? Why would you try to play a game with me and shit like I don't know the Torah or something? Stop trying to try people. If you wanted to know if I knew something, not just be a real brother and just ask. Brother, do you know this or that? Yes or no? That's all I'm going to say. Yes or no? You always should say something, how you feeling, You should never just like try to secretly, stealthily do some shit, especially you online and shit, and then shit is on edge. People is on edge. Motherfuckers is dying because people with the Torah in their hands be saying dumbass shit. Because, so you got to stop being shifty and shit. Just be straightforward, because then somebody could end up, So that's how it ended up coming out. And then Kim Kardashian. Again, like I was saying, that's how shit be happening or whatever. My fault. I wasn't paying attention to the screen. That's how shit be happening. So I didn't want to do that to my brother Ak Zabak by messaging him back, because then it was going to be a tit for tat, and I didn't want it to be a tit for tat. I just wanted it to stay a brotherly conversation, and him just getting to know that I'm a brother just by him being genuinely kind and brotherly to me. It would blossom naturally, instead of like trying to force and you assuming that I'm not a flower and shit, and you trying to like crush me and shit. You assuming shit. So it must be, whatever it might have been. But that also goes into what I'm gonna say lastly. I had a meta encounter last night before I woke up this Shabbat. Had a meta encounter where I was in Ak Zabak's synagogue or something like that. It looked like, but it looked like a house assembly. It was Ak Zabak and Aksamak Tazawar was there, and there was a sister there, and my thing was looking for a wife, because it's like, why do I gotta fight y'all asses to prove to y'all that I deserve a Hebrew Israelite sister? Why the fuck I gotta fight? And then I gotta fight the Hebrew Israelite sister. You know what I'm saying? Because Hebrew Israelite sisters be in the background analyzing brothers, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, you gotta fight the brothers and you gotta fight the sisters. Shit just don't blossom naturally like a flower. Just get to know the person and let shit blossom. And where somebody might be wrong at somewhere, you can just edify. Y'all don't be trying to edify. Y'all be just trying to fuck people up. Shit that you be rebuking people for is just misunderstandings that people need edification on. And y'all just be going extra hard. So it's like y'all lost that ability to know how to tell when to rebuke or when to edify. So I never end up with a Hebrew Israelite sister as a wife. Because it's either the sister that's extremely aggressive and on edge and be really attackish and shit because she be reading the scriptures with her own understanding and shit, or it's Hebrew Israelite brothers that be blocking sisters and shit. Like you would say IUIC, Israel United in Christ, got so many sisters, but because you're not with them, you can't get a sister, as to say that you ain't ready yet type shit. You say I'm a whole rabbi. They still talking about Christ this and that and talking about bishops and deacons and shit. So it's like they still want Christian shit. So how are you Israel in Christ? The fuck is y'all doing? So it's not Israel in Mashayah or Israel in Yahawashah. It's Israel in Christ. So it's still some fucking perverted shit. So freedom ain't coming to them. All them brothers. And they not calling on the Most High. Yeah, they not calling on Mashayah. Calling on Christ still. So they still getting darkened ass power, Greek ass shit. So nothing comes. The bridge is still broken to them. And the sisters be just Some of them be just trapped up wanting to get. They be seeing brothers like, damn, but these brothers not part of IUIC. So but they be good brothers and stuff. But they just be blocked. Some sisters be just aggressive, And then it's just another thing, Sister Joy Morgan, she died at IUIC. How the fuck you go to a church and died? You got shot at church and shit? Like, yeah, I went and left home and became a part of this church, Israel United in Christ. People would think that she made a good decision. I'm going to leave my family that's not in church and go to church. And then at least they'll say that I made a good decision and I grew up and became a grown woman and I made a wise decision to go to church. But you know what I'm saying? That's how I was looking at first. Then it turned to like, she did. How the fuck she get shot? Fucking died at IUIC under that. What the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? Not understanding the queen was looking for a way to free the children of Israel. You had these brothers blocking. So who would be the number one enemy to black people or Hebrew Israelites in America? The fucking Hebrew Israelites. Judgment comes to the assembly first. So the people who has the very word of the Most High that be hiding, Hebrew Israelites that be hiding and shit. All of these sects, GOCC, IUIC, this, that, and the third, ISUPK, all of these people that have the Torah in their hands as Hebrew Israelites, judgment comes to them first. Analyzation and assessment come to them first to see why the fuck shit happening. Especially IUIC, I would say they should be the first ones. Because a woman named Joy Morgan from the UK left her family and she ended up dead. Her brother's trying to figure out how the fuck my sister get shot the fuck up at church and shit. So it's her younger brother. So he got a vendetta out against IUIC. So it's like, yo, understanding. Shit be going on. So you need to, focal point on these Hebrew Israelite brothers. I'm a Hebrew Israelite myself. It's just that's the nationality that we're called. We're from Abraham. Abraham was a Hebrew. Or Abari. Okay? And we came through Yitzchak Yaquab. Yaquab's name was changed to Yashrael. So you're a Hebrew Israelite. You're not a Hebrew Ishmaelite or something like that. So it's more specific. That's why you got to say Hebrew Israelite. Whatever. That's the English term. But Abadi Yashraeli. And so, yes, that's my nationality. That's what King David was. That's what King Solomon was. They were Abadi Yashraeli. They were Hebrew Israelites. So it's a nationality. Please understand that. But shit was happening, And so IUIC, y'all need to, if you're talking about getting to America and stuff, you need to go to the Hebrew Israelites first because they have the power of the Most High, the word of the Most High, which is the power. So you got to break them down or reason with them, help them understand shit about to happen to America and you got to come to them. They're strong and powerful is what I'm saying. But the thing is, like, they're still cut off, some of them, because they keep calling on Christ. The brothers that's not calling on Christ, they see light, okay? But they stay humble because we're still in captivity. They're in the bracket that I'm in. I'm free-minded, but I'm a slave still because my people are slaves as a collective whole. But those who keep calling on Christ, they're the problem, okay? GOCC, Gathering of Christ Church. IUIC, Israel United in Christ. How united in Christ? That's a Greek-ass people. It's a Roman gay-ass faggot, yo. What is you talking about? So, yeah. They're the issue. They're the problem, and that's how Joy Morgan died. She was a person that worked for the Queen directly, trying to find freedom for the children of Israel in the UK, and they shot her. You know what I'm saying? So they cut off the Queen, trying to help them. As the scripture said, the nations around about us will help us come to freedom. Whatever the case, I said everything I need to say. I just wanted to add that little extension on here. I'm gonna have to try to put this together in the edit and connect it together. So with that said, Shabbat Shalom, y'all.